Hi there, my name is Colin Nita. I'm an artist and an illustrator, and today I am very excited to share with you the time-lapse tutorial behind my latest digital painting called Burn the Past. Every painting for me starts with working from photo reference and starting always with a rough sketch that I use to establish the major elements. In this case, my biggest element in this painting was this character of this pirate, and I really want her to be the focal point of the piece, so I make sure to figure out all her details in a rough stage before I proceed to do any refining. In this case, you can see that I'm following my photographic reference pretty closely. Although there are changes, I don't follow it religiously. A lot of what I'm doing is I'm adding elements to just make the character look more badass, more heroic in general. You can see here that I've started to move on to the color stage, and for me, I always try to start with the face. Faces are really, really important. This really can't be overstated enough. I always make sure to get the face to a point where I can be reasonably assured that it's not going to derail the whole painting. You can have everything working in a painting, but if you get a face wrong or it doesn't look, it just looks off, that's all people will notice and that's all they'll talk about. So you need to really just nail that first. And I don't have to have the face perfect before I continue, I just need it established. So a lot of what I'm doing here is I'm tweaking the basic color balance of the skin tones in relation to the background. I really wanted to have this warm rim light coming from this burning pirate ship that's behind her. And part of the story of this piece that I was envisioning was that I wanted this character to be kind of like leaving her past behind. So essentially she's literally burning her past and she's trying to get away from this pirate lifestyle that she's been leading. So after I've established that kind of like basic lighting scheme, I start to work on other elements. You can see here she's got these armored leather bracers on, and I really want this bracer to kind of draw your eye up from her hand up into the rest of the portrait. I pay attention to like a lot of details here that I get pretty in the weeds on. So I work a lot on specific elements such as the leather of those armored bracers, this metal jewelry and how it reflects light, the color and the folds of her shirt and her corset. All this stuff is important to me because I feel it really helps to sell the idea of this character, make it feel like she's real, she's grounded in an actual space in a real world. I'm a bit of a reference hound. I really like to get photographic reference for almost everything in a painting. If it's not photographic, it's sometimes a 3D model. And that just helps me really get a sense of realism. I realized at a certain point in my career that I am just a kind of a hardcore realist painter, and that's just kind of how I work. It's what I enjoy the most. So you can see here I'm getting back into the face of the character. As I said before, the face doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be kind of good enough in the first stage, and then I like to return to it because a lot of times I'll have a fresh eye after I've worked on other areas of the painting, and I can come back and I can make sure that face is really, really selling it, because as I said before, it's really the most important out of the piece. Now I've moved on to the background of the burning pirate ship that's behind her. This was really fun to paint. There's so many details here that again I get kind of lost in the weeds, but I'm always trying to keep to my central idea of this scene really selling the character. And for me, I had to make sure that that fire had that atmospheric effect of flames that are just so hot that they're emitting all this light and they're really setting off a dramatic scene behind her. Here I've returned to detailing this hand. Hands are second in importance really only to faces. They're one of these elements that are critical to get right. They're also really hard, so it's important to spend as much time as is needed on getting the hands correct. And in this case, the hand is literally pointing at a very important story element in the picture of the burning pirate ship in the background. So I really always spend enough time to make sure that those hands are rocking. So a little bit of fast forwarding here. I did so much more detailing on that character's costume and accessories. And in this final phase, I'm basically giving the painting a once-over to make sure all these elements are cohesive and working together. I can't stress enough how important this really is. There's so many things that I catch that I hadn't seen before when I come back to my painting with a fresh eye. One example is this crossbow. I realized the perspective was wrong, so I had to fix that. So it's just one of these things that it's just important to give your painting that objective final pass to make sure that everything's working together and is how you like. And that's the final for Burn the Past. Thank you so very much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.